Oh, good morning to a good friend of mine in the UK, called Kojo, known to many people as Ben, and Kojo Menu to four. Good morning to you.
What name did you say they were calling you? Yao Day? Oh, Kwekude.
That's my name.
As in
actually.
you?
Yeah.
KD.
KD, yo.
in the house,
I think
yo.
I love that one. KD.
Daddy Roro is still.
Oh, yeah, you didn't neutralize my vim crack.
But morning to all of you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Charlie, how's your grandma? I had a dream about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
My grandmother.
Yeah.
Roland.
Yeah.
I mean,
The 91-year-old girl.
all that I saw was the picture frame. And,
Yeah. There was a mini party for her on her birthday.
You didn't go, I bet.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Roland was there in his dreams.
Yeah,
I can't believe you thinking about my
I had
grandmother.
a dream about your grandmother.
Yeah?
I mean, not in a bad way. I'm just,
You
I
just
think
saw her.
because of the pictures and all that.
Well, it's been
quite
how many
strange.
days?
Quite strange. I don't know. Yeah, she had to pop up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I know
Mrs.
all of you
Mrs.
know that
Victoria Nyomi?
I'm saying the truth. So
Davy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We believe
Yeah, I
you.
believe you.
That's the problem.
See, Kojo believes you. I believe you.
The problem is that we believe you.
and that's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
If only you were joking.
It was a real dream. I don't.
If
have
you
dreams
missed
of-
the news, we're here to do the newspapers. You still catch up with what is later. So we're going to run through the headlines. I've got the Daily Graphic and the Finder newspaper.
I've got the Ghanaian Times and the Daily Guide.
We've got the rest.
Yeah.
Let's begin with the Finder. Front page of the Finder, no misuse of oil money. President declares and promises transparency to benefit majority of Ghanaians. Government to hook 10,000 businesses onto Ghana Online Mall. 35% of imports exempted from CTN. And majority of Ghanaians in favor of free SHS according to a poll. That story is on page 4 in the Finder.
I'll do the front and back pages of the Ghanaian Times and the Daily Guide. Ghanaian Times front page, at the launch of Ghana Oil and Gas Round, terminate dormant petroleum agreements, the President orders. Also on the front page, Brexit won't affect Ghana-Britain relations. Cargo tracking to cover only 3,000 importers, according to the GRA boss. And 403.7 million Ghana cedis missing, in quote, money. PIAC rejects Finance Ministry's explanation. On the back page, cargo tracking to cover, yes, we know about that. And Ghana marks Global Hand Washing Day. Oh gosh, reminds me of the Ebola times. Okay, Daily Guide has these. Nana auctions oil blocks. AG accuses Woyome UT Bank of collusion. One district, one factory for every district by 2020. And the banner headline from a JoyNews investigation. But the headline slightly twisting the facts. Daily Guide says NDC blows $175 million hospital cash on election survey. Well, actually, they spent $6 million out of that amount on the election survey, not the entire 175 million cash. So I think, and you will see the difference, by the way, in several newspapers that have covered this story today. The ones that say government blows 6 million, they're sticking to the facts. Those that say government blows, NDC blows state money, they are sticking to the facts. But those that say NDC blows $175 million are doing a little bit of propaganda. But details on that story later.
Let's do the daily, no, Roland, you do the Daily Statesman, yeah?
Yeah, let me do the Daily Statesman. It has on the front page, Akufo-Addo calls for transparency in oil block bidding process. Every district will have a factory by 2021 D1F coordinator. And then NDC chops $175 million hospital loan. All right, so we have that. Let's go to the Business and Financial Times. Has on the front page, 200 million Ghana cedi fund for young entrepreneurs to be ready by March 2019. I'm a young entrepreneur. We'll see how we can take advantage of this good initiative by government. UK investors eye deals worth over £500 million. and no freeze on issuance of licenses, the Bank of Ghana assures. Eden Heights launches luxury apartments. Oh, I'll do anything to get one of these apartments. I mean, I'll do some things.
Hey, anything. Pa.
Anything.
I'll do something.
You're desperate
Executive
for an
women's
apartment.
Grandmother
executive
doesn't own any apartments.
No, she doesn't.
Thank the
She has a
Lord.
beautiful house, by the way.
Oh,
executive
brilliant. Share your room.
women's out. No, Executive Women's Network holds second conference.
The apartment is confusing you.
Yeah,
You can't see
you know,
clearly now.
you know the pictures in my mind. The images are of Bakuna Woku for Honor events. Villaggio.
You wanted out.
And then you walk
Town house.
and what does the apartment? Now we say me pen Botian on it. Cantonment.
It's
Really the catchment area.
What is it?
Would you give me Saglemi?
What is it?
Let's do the daily
At
graphic
least
newspaper.
when I
say
to my kids I'm not coming today, then I know that I'm in the apartment.
But you know, for some reason, I really don't like apartments. Like, I feel like you can't raise children in,
you can.
you know.
You can. It's a lie. You can. It's a total lie.
I have
Because when you have children in a cantonment, they'll go to school in Morning Star, those places.
I have
It's
seen.
simple.
I have seen some apartments.
Yeah?
They are bigger than many houses. Yes.
Outside the or outskirts of the city.
Here, no, here.
I
here
kind
in
of
Accra.
feel that when
Here in
you
Accra.
want fresh air or you want to have a feel of the outside, then you're exposed to all the risk. What if you fall off?
A friend
What
of
can I
mine
pay?
is a CEO of a multinational here in Ghana.
Okay, he builds houses.
And I've been to her apartment in airport.
Yeah.
It is a massive.
Yeah?
And it's also very it's very homely. It's got green spaces, so they have like
Okay.
a massive balcony
Accra.
that spans like half of the apartment, around half of the edges of the apartment. It's got plants.
But is
and
it well protected
everything.
so that you
Of
can
course.
leave
Yeah,
children
it's
to
gated.
be
Of course.
around?
And her
No,
children
I'm
are
not talking about that one.
her children are not small.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, they really.
I think that's a
enjoy
risk.
it.
Alright.
They
That's
enjoy
a
the
risk.
space,
Okay.
yeah.
How would him say
How
when
long-
they prescribe medicine, you say this medicine is not good.
It's so big, It's so big.
That's right.
Marble and massive.
Are they the
rooms and
same as
columns and-
condominiums?
No, condominiums tend to be smaller.
Yeah, the condos. Okay. Let's
I love
do
that
the-
you mentioned it. Meaning that you've been
Let's
dreamt
do
about
the-
them
the
before. I'm
daily-
not the bad person here.
Let's do the daily graphic newspaper front page of the app. We haven't said that you're bad. You said you do anything for one of
Shama
those
boy,
apartments.
where at the this master. If I get apartment for Accra, I don't get room. Oh,
Let's stick to the newspapers. Front page of the
Tell
daily
Ashama you
graphic
got a- so we
newspaper.
got Accra
Roller,
apartment.
roller. Ashama is not so bad. Stop. Front page of the graphic now. Banking reforms will make Ghana safest investment destination. Cargo tracking notes have come to stay. GRA boss declares. Vitiligo on prowl, but
Vitiligo.
no. Oh, vitiligo. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the okay.
the American.
But no cure.
I think
Michael
that's-
Jackson's condition.
Yeah.
Review Dormant agreements. President charges Energy Ministry at oil build evaluation launch. Comes with a picture of President Akufo-Addo with Oman Hene of Sefi, Ariaso, Ojiahoho. Yeah? Yao Jebi, the second.
Charlie. I love the way you mentioned. How did you mention it?
Back page, you do it only
Ojiao.
once. MMDA's
Very
urge to
romantic.
improve sanitation in markets. So the hand wash that you mentioned, Kojo, Mrs. Samira Baumia, is on the back page of the paper.
Kojo was at the event.
Demonstrating
No, I just mentioned it this
proper
morning.
hand washing. So it's an insert there at the back page of the graphic. Rains, bad roads render Kumasi landfill sites inaccessible. It's a very friendly, no, it's not friendly, is not the word. This is a very familiar scene, yeah? This is very common. But these are the stories by way of headlines, back page and front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Let's do perhaps maybe the last but one newspaper. Okay, or the last paper. The Daily Dispatch newspaper, Ghana's waste problems, the bin solution. And then we have 2020 elections. Mahama tells Akufo-Addo we have won one each. 2020 is the decider. The story is on the back page of the paper. But part of $175 million to build hospitals was spent on NDC 2016 re-election research. Should have been 2016, not 2012. Daily Dispatch.
So
just
still fall out
was a
of
typo.
Kwite's investigative case.
Yeah. It's all over. Mother and 3 others jailed for stealing 2 olunka of corn to be released today. And we're told that, no, there's another one.
Yeah, they
had
are
the intervention of Christian Achu. Which one is that? Is that the same thing?
Christian actually
Christian
intervened in one.
In
then
one of them?
Then this will be, because the other one was what the Chief Justice commented on. Yeah. Okay.
We should also announce, by the way, our own Seth Kwame Boateng, who had done a lot of work on the judiciary, will be awarded by the Judicial Service
on Friday.
That guy is just,
I think it's a germ, yeah.
Indeed. All right, so shall we look at some stories? I have the big one from yesterday's expose by Kwete Nati. And it's represented on the front page of the Daily Guide with this headline: NDC blows $75 million hospital cash on election survey. Now, you guys know the details, right?
Yeah.
So
basically, we know. Yeah.
What Kwete Nati has uncovered is a contract that was signed between the government of Ghana and a company, a British company, to build 7 hospitals. But as part of that contract, they were to do some research, I guess, to help them decide where to locate these 7 hospitals. But written into the contract was that this research was also to assess the NDC's chances in future elections. And it's explicit, it's written in the contract. And then, of course, there were some interviews. Rojo Metal Nunu, who was once the Deputy Minister for Health and who was designated the project leader for this particular 175 million, 7 hospitals project. He gave an interview to Gifty Ando Apia after the NDC lost in 2016. And he talked about how he and some people did research into 30,000 homes to find out how people feel about the NDC, and that the findings of that research was ignored by the leadership of the party. And he feels that if they had not ignored it, perhaps they would have had a better chance of winning the election. Now, Mr. Rojo Metal Nunu has issued a statement since Kwete's story came out. And he claims that what Kwete is saying is not true. That there was a research as part of that project into 30,000 homes, 32,000 homes, the same number that he mentioned in his interview about research for NDC, 32,000 homes. But what Kwete is saying is not true. And you've noticed on social media, people have come out as usual on partisan sides on this matter. So there are those who say that Kwete's story reveals nothing. That in the same story, you hear Neil Antivanderpoy saying, "No, I never saw any such research," and you hear the NPP MP who was on the Health Committee of Parliament at the time also saying, "Well, we saw no such thing in the contract, even though it's a bulky contract. We saw no such thing in it." So actually, they are suggesting that Kwete Nati's piece is self-defeating, because it says in one vein that no such thing happened, while Kwete Nati is claiming that it happened. I just want to say something. Please, let us all stop for a minute. This is not politics. This is breaking of the law. When you take state funds and use it to fund party research, you break the law. And the special prosecutor apparently has been asking for further information, which we'll share with you in a moment. But this is what I need to say at this point. Following Kwete's report, please, let's not fool ourselves. This is not politics. Let's stop it for a minute. If you belong to the NDC, stop it. Stop saying to yourself that this didn't happen. Because you heard Rojo Metal Nunu in the clip confessing that he did research for his party. 32,000 homes. You read in the same report an excerpt from the contract that we signed for $175 million. In the contract, we said that there will be 2 aspects to the research. One, will be medical to help decide where to place the hospitals. And 2 will be to assess the fortunes in future elections of the NDC. It's there in the contract. So what are you denying? And as for NPP, before you jump on this and start doing politics with it, NPP, you remember, is the party that said that their opponents in the NDC cannot read. You remember? Yes. This contract came to you in Parliament and you passed it. Can you read?
I think what the MPP MP said in the story was that that aspect about the survey...
It's in the contract.
Yes,
Kwete read from the contract.
It's in the contract.
Yes.
He's not denied that aspect. I think what he's denied is whether that survey was supposed to have found out about the government's chances
why is he
or its
denying
performance.
It says
in the
so
health
in the
sector
contract. Let me read what the contract says. I think that will settle the matter. Because the contract was taken to Parliament. Let's not mince words. And the NPP were in the committee that reviewed this thing in Parliament. These are the words, word for word. I'm quoting the contract here. The work consists of 2 discrete political and public health elements. The political elements is testing the attitudes
What's the read? Is it from the
contract, word for word. This is the contract that went to Parliament, that they approved. The political element is testing the attitudes and perceptions of the population towards contemporary issues faced in Ghana and public confidence in the capacity and competence of the current administration to implement appropriate and timely solutions. The current level of satisfaction regarding the performance of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, at district, regional, and national levels is also tested, and the research incorporates how this may translate into future electoral success with the taxpayers' money. So what are we denying? What is it that we are arguing over? This is the contract. So if you're with NDC, what are you denying? It's there. The man himself said in an interview that, yes, I did research for my party and they ignored it. He said it. So what are we denying? But please, once I've said that, let's understand that I'm trying to say it's not political. So let's move away from it and look at it as a crime and deal with it as such. Because if you try to get political with it, if MPP also jumps on the bandwagon, I will be the first to ask him, I beg you, did you read the contract before you approved it? Anyway. Right. So I'm being told to look into something.
No. Well, so at the end of the day, we'll bring you more updates from Kwete Nati's investigations on the channel. So please make sure that you stay glued to it. Mamavi, you wanted to look at... Are you done with looking at your issues?
Okay. There's a story in the Finder today about a father who's been jailed 10 years for impregnating daughter. Story says a 42-year-old farmer, Collins Mbodi, who impregnated his own daughter and aborted the pregnancy, has been sentenced to 10 years in hard labor in prison by the Asamankese Circuit Court. He pleaded guilty. Details of that in the Finder newspaper. I wonder if, such a person will still have to be called a father.
There's another story of a father here in Accra who impregnated 2 of his daughters. I don't know if he's been jailed yet. I know there was an arrest, but I heard later that the mother basically refused to testify, redo the case or something like that. And so it's very likely that he may evade justice, this man.
I think that sometimes we need to get emotional about some of these things because, one, it is not right. It is... I don't know what evidence, again, we need to know that this is a clear abuse of not only children, but also people's own just basic rights to live and be respected. And the Constitution guarantees that. And I'm sad. I'm hoping that perhaps we can review our laws more so.
Our laws are fine, no.
No, yes.
It's the implementation.
It's the implementation.
Yeah, because, sometimes it's the families. When these things come up, families will...
They fear stigma?
Yes. And so they don't take the matter as far as they should. And in fact, it shouldn't be in the hands of a family. In this country, our laws say that prosecutions are brought by the state. If you commit a crime, you've committed it against the state. So the state should prosecute, whether or not family decides to get on board 2 children. I mean, this is a sad story. This farmer
and I think that, you know, whilst we talk about this story, we have to, you know, thank the Akwatia police, led by the district police commander, we're told in this story. They did the initial arrest, and then, you know, the follow through, and it concluded. So it's not always that we hear that police would start something and end. So this ended, and I think that we should be appreciative of that. We should appreciate their effort at least. Yeah. So he subsequently aborted the pregnancy through some concoctions that he did. But the wife also got to know. So the story would tell you the first time he had sex with his own daughter when she was 16. Wow. And then the wife later on got to know about it.
How old is the daughter now?
But no, the story didn't say, except to say that the man is 42. And then, you know, the mother got to know about it, but they resolved it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
but
this is...
See, the ones in Accra, the ones where I'm hearing no further action is being taken. The children are so much younger. I think the youngest one was 10 or so when the abuse began. You know, and already both of them are pregnant. Can you imagine that? One has had a child, the other one is pregnant.
And father is working.
Father is
There's I don't know. We've talked about it severally. We've even discussed this on the show about the type of sentences that are given to people. And the story now is it's the same story in which a mother and her 2 daughters were set to spend 3 months in prison for taking some leftover corn, estimated at 10 Ghana cedis.
10 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, which did not belong to them, according to Ibrahim Oponkwati of Crime Check Foundation. A court found them guilty and consequently sentenced all 3, including a lactating mother, after they were unable to raise 360 Ghana cedis slapped on them as fines.
Yeah.
He, however, revealed that Black Stars winger
that is if they stole
Christian Achu came to the rescue of the convicts.
Well, they were found guilty.
And I know that a number of legal practitioners, including Martin Pebu, who usually would help us with some of the legal discussions, had been advocating this through his NGO and think tank, and we're hoping that perhaps we can do something more just beyond the Justice for All program for many. We should look at the sentences.
We're told that they're drafting some policies. That's where it is taking long. But I think that sometimes the judges should also use their own discretion. And I mean, you can't put a whole family, you know, in for 3 months.
But even seriously, if somebody steals something worth 100 Ghana cedis, yes, the act of stealing, you want to deter somebody. But if you want to deter somebody from stealing, can't you perhaps
sign a bond or something?
Yeah, or
I don't know.
Look,
That's
we have a lot of gutters that are choked.
No.
I know the new law. I know the new law will take care of that.
Yeah, I know the new law. So a judge couldn't do that.
Yeah, we have to look into the books and say,
I'm looking at you, Roland. You have 2 beautiful kids. You have a wife. What you've stolen is not huge, so go and clean which of the gutters? Maybe the circle, like a door, for like a week. We don't have that yet.
But you know, that's what the idea. You know the true irony of this situation? That's a mother and 2 daughters. One of them has a baby. All of them bundled into prison, including the baby, for 10 cedis. And the Supreme Court, the highest court of our land, rules that Woyomi took money unconstitutionally.
Okay, so those are different matters.
Yes,
this is criminal, and that's a constitutional matter.
No, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, that matter has been through several courts, including criminal court, where he was exonerated. Okay. But the highest court of our land declared that was unconstitutional. Somehow, this same law that governs all of us sends this family plus a baby to prison.
That's the thing with crime, right? That's the thing with with crime.
Anyway,
it's just how things are structured.
Let's see what's.
We need alternatives in sentencing.
Well,
let's see what's on myjoyonline.com.
All right, so let's go through some online stories. Mamavi, can you just start with that?
Okay, here we go. myjoyonline.com. Scandals under Mahama chipped away NDC's trusts. Who says that? Guzi Tando. Details there on myjoyonline.com. Also, Gender Ministry to partner Unilever to extend Global Hand Washing Day initiative. Queen's essay competition, Roman Rich School beat all again. Government using oil revenues to create assets, not accumulate debts, according to President Akufo-Addo. Ghana is ready for business, Akufo-Addo reiterates to investors. National cathedrals stop misplaced priority. TUC wants government. Where have they been all this while?
Well, they've been quiet. They said it was a religious discussion until the president went to the US and said it is a priority of the UK, sorry, and said it is a priority among priorities.
Then they found their voice. Oh. I'm inspired to continue.
But I agree with them, by the way. That
Speak for
view.
Justice, 40 and the 40 winner, Susu. You've been through a lot. Also on the page,
he's been exonerated.
Warrior, yes. Supreme Court orders UT Bank receiver into witness box. And special prosecutor to investigate loan diversion to fund NDC research. Lots more stories on myjoyonline.com that you can check out.
Special prosecutor has a lot of work to do.
Let's do the BBC. If we can. I think there are some stories on the BBC. So the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, there's a baby coming up. You heard?
Yeah, I heard that.
Meghan is pregnant apparently.
Why should there have been a breaking news? There was a breaking news
What?
all over.
Oh, was it breaking?
Yeah, that day.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that was Was it on Sunday?
On the international news network.
It was on Sunday. It was breaking news all over on the BBC.
But the wedding was
ITV,
live everywhere. So pregnancy would be a big deal
even the
too.
American channels were all.
Yeah.
It's the royal family.
Yeah, it's the royal
Yeah,
family.
I know.
It's Meghan. I mean, Meghan has been talked about.
Otunfo's family, yeah.
So Meghan is pregnant. They went to
Can you
Australia
imagine if there was
and they got
breaking news every time there was a pregnancy linked to?
Yeah, I could have
the
imagined.
Otunfo.
Not only, right, I mean, if...
No,
if
I mean,
for-
in
the
Ghana,
Otunfo's family.
news like that is no news. Like who cares?
You know, that day I was thinking, what if every pregnancy was breaking
in Ghana,
a news for...
in Ghana.
Yeah.
People
The world, I mean. Oh, let's say in Ghana.
Like
Kojo's
Roland will make the headlines
impregnation
every
of
morning.
That lady would have...
What?
No, that would have been news.
Yeah.
Which one? Which
Them
one?
girl, nah, hey.
How about girl?
That would have been news.
Please,
Any
God
other
hasn't
person,
impregnated
no news.
anyone who...
Girl, now
These people have already announced that I'm getting married and I'm
drink
getting
Ghana.
phone calls about
We
it.
know you.
Nobody has been impregnated.
Oh, please. A lot of things happen off. We're telling you what the real issues are.
Okay, and then
Some of these people will believe you. Stop it.
in
Oh, it's a
Tanzania.
lie, you. Please. And did they believe the marriage issue?
Yes.
Oh, you said he was getting married.
I've been getting
Yeah.
phone calls.
And when?
He put it on.
I
his
didn't put anything on
Facebook.
anything.
So I'm not the one who put it there. And I said it's in it. It's there.
Okay.
I said he was
So
getting married.
in Tanzania,
He's
we
not
know
getting
that according to Forbes, that's the richest African, young African who was kidnapped last Thursday
It's a
in
billionaire.
Dar es Salaam. Yes, his family has put an amount of money. They've arrested some 20 people so far, but they still don't know where he's been taken to. And according to the Tanzanian police, 2 white men, the masked men, they say there are 2 white men who kidnapped him. But they've put an amount of money on not the police, the family. It's $440,000 reward for information that
for
leads
somebody who's a
to
billionaire.
his right. Well, in
This is for information.
Tanzania, shilling is 1 billion shilling.
Allah
So-
saying, no, you kidnap Nifi 8 million ransom. That's how much he collected before he was arrested.
Who's
So
that?
what are you saying?
But they should increase the team. 140 million.
Okay,
Do you
so
have
again-
information?
again-
Do you have information?
If I
So
had
why
quick-
are you interested in the amount?
But the thing is that if I go, I'll be suspect 1.
Again, let's put it in context.
Yeah.
What is huge, like 1 billion Tanzania shilling, may not translate to the same figure here
They
in
don't do
Ghana.
Forex
I only
business.
did it in the dollars so that
Don't-
we can all relate.
don't they-
But
don't
one
they
more
do-
story, Fred, I see that it's on the BBC page, so let's do it, about this aid worker in Nigeria kidnapped and killed. It will be 2 now. So Boko Haram killed 2nd aid worker in Nigeria. This one was attached to the Red Cross. There was one with one of the UN agencies who had been killed earlier. So essentially they wanted an exchange from the Nigerian government of people that Boko Haram people that they had arrested and imprisoned, and they gave a deadline, which was yesterday. And I remember the Red Cross coming out and pleading and issuing a statement and saying all those who could do something about it so that the woman would be released but the government didn't say anything, except that once the woman was killed, then the government also started talking and saying how they are sad and things like that. So there's a lot of heat on the Nigerian government because people say that they didn't do anything about it until,
But in such hostage and such kidnapping situations, etc., you want to negotiate. And if you go negotiate on the terms that makes you weak,
they didn't update anybody.
Yeah, but true.
On what was happening.
If you go negotiate on terms that make you weak, on the surface.
How do you know what terms?
Well, they said bring a Boko Haram suspect who is.
Yeah, but they've been exchanging prisoners.
That is their demand.
We're
talking about the negotiation. Doesn't necessarily have to go. But you see, here's the thing: some countries have a policy that they don't negotiate with terrorists, but they do something else.
Yeah,
They may not negotiate, but they'll take some other action.
Like, let's say the Iran-Contra affair.
But we know that Nigeria has been doing this. I mean, it's not like the U.S. that you say they won't pay ransom for anybody that you abduct, that kind of thing. But there's a 15-year-old girl who was also kidnapped, and they say they're going to turn her into a slave. Yeah, so horrible stuff happening. You can check all that out on the BBC. Go to myjoyonline.com. But we have to end it here. Selwyn and Benedict, they've got beautiful names. They're very handsome as well. They come up with...
Benedict.
What am I saying?
Benedict is not a nice name. Selwyn is a nice name.
Mama, you're very flustered. What's going on?
I love them both.
You've been dreaming about them too.
Small boys
How?